Today we are going to talk about not one, not two, but three of some of the most disturbing people on the internet. But before we get into the story, welcome to Buried Archives, where we dig into the cases that were never meant to be found. If you are new here, subscribe. Now, let's get into it. I want you to envision an aspiring filmmaker obsessed with a TV show managed to blur the lines of fiction into fatal reality. In Edmonton, Alberta, Canada, a bustling city in the prairies known for its festival and film scene, Mark Andrew Twitchell was born on July 4, 1979. By the age of 29, he was married and now a father for a young daughter. By day, he ran an Extras Entertainment, a small production company churning on indie projects. He was an aspiring filmmaker, directing a Star Wars fan prequel called The Secrets of Rebellion and posting online movies and screenwriting. He was active on YouTube and social media. He even posed as Dexter Morgan on Facebook, idealizing the Showtime series about a vigilante killer with a code. Twitchell's life seemed normal. He was simply a family man chasing Hollywood dreams, passionate about horror and sci-fi. But in September of 2008, he rented a detached garage as a film set for his 9-minute horror short, which was House of Cards. The plot? It was a serial killer posing as a woman online, luring men to a kill room, then fatally assaulted them. Now this was framed as fiction, drawing from real killer tactics, but the details were eerily specific. He gushed about Dexter emulating the character's meticulous style. Fans saw an enthusiastic filmmaker. His social media blended movie talk with subtle nods to violence. No one connected the dots yet, because it seemed like an artistic edge. Twitchell's online deception grew using a fake female profile on dating sites. He began contacting men, testing lures similar to the film's plot. His Dexter fandom evolved into imitation, with posts and writings idealizing the show's code for killing. Family life strained under his ambition, but he did it behind a charismatic facade, blurring the lines further in writing and scripts. Twitchell explored serial killer psyches deeply. Online activity intensified, posing as Dexter and sharing film updates, but isolation fed his urges. No intervention came. Friends and family saw a dedicated artist. However, he drafted the SK Confessions, a 40-plus page first-person diary detailing a killer's progression, planning attacks, cleanups, and disposals, which he claimed as screenplay fiction. Twitchell acquired props that doubled as weapons, like copper pipe and scouted disposal methods. His garage set was prepared with protective coverings mirroring the show's methodical approach. The fantasy eventually blended into real actions. The escalation peaked as fantasy scripted real harm, with no one spotting the warning signs in his media-obsessed life. And on October of 2008, a 30-year-old man named Johnny Altinger, a quality control inspector from British Columbia, living in Edmonton, received a message from a woman online. He got emailed the directions for the date. Altinger, excited, shared plans with friends while the woman prepped for the date. He arrived to the date following the instructions, where the woman ambushed him, striking him fatally with a blunt object and causing his death. The body was then disposed of. She then accessed Altinger's email, sending messages to friends claiming he'd meet someone and was eloping or moving away. Altinger vanished, sparking worry among pals who reported him missing. Police traced the email directions to a garage. Friends' odd emails raised alarms. The city buzzed with disappearance, turning it into sinister. Investigators connected the dots fast. Evidence included blood in the garage and a 40-page diary named SK Confessions, matching the crime play by play. Online lures, garage rental records, email, and Dexter post all linking it to none other than Twitchell himself. Arrested soon after, Twitchell's 2011 trial, where he confessed of disguising himself as a woman to lure in Altinger, then killing him, but the claim was of self-defense as Altinger allegedly attacked first. Jury convicted him of first-degree murder on April 12th of 2011 and sentenced him to life, no parole for 25 years. YouTuber grinding through anime reviews and silly skits but hiding a storm of rage which would turn out to be the calm before the storm. a quiet community about 40 miles from the bustling city of Houston, Texas. It's a place of wide open spaces, family homes, and everyday life, far from the spotlight. Born on the 3rd of August 1989, Trey Sesler, a local guy who rose to minor fame online as Mr. Anime under his channel Lenscap Productions, starring on YouTube in September 2006, one of the platform's early days. Trey uploaded hundreds of videos by 2012, hitting 323 in total. His content was energetic: anime reviews, gaming clips, comedic skits, and with slapstick humor, amateur horror shots, and personal vlogs. He was cheerful, passionate, often smiling wide as he gushed about series or act in the films with his brother Mark. Trey dreamed big, making a living from reviews, studying sociology to understand human behavior, and even pursuing filmmaking. He lived at home at 22, building a dedicated fan base with his enthusiastic persona. But behind closed doors, tensions simmered. He didn't have a steady job, he clashed with his parents over independence and his future. His videos sometimes showed him handling fake guns or airsoft props. Innocent fun at the time, but it goes sideways later. The initial anomaly crept in through Trey's content and personal life. As his channel grew, little shifts appeared. Videos delved into amateur horror with violent undertones, and he expressed growing frustrations in vlogs about feeling stuck. His fascination with anime evolved into an escape, but real-world issues loomed. Family arguments over his lack of direction, living at home without employment. Fans saw the cheerful Mr. Anime, but offline he was pretty frustrated with where he was in life, which led to countless issues with his parents. He doubled down on his online world, pouring energy into reviews and skits, yet this masked deeper problems, indicating of underlying issues, including reports of harm to animals that emerged later. His brother Mark even appeared in videos as a sidekick, oblivious to the bullying system. Viewers often saw darker elements as part of his creative style, though they did reflect deeper personal challenges. Trey developed an interest in criminology and extreme cases, researching mass shooters and serial killers extensively in private notes. His videos with prop guns now hinted at real interest, and there were reports of family pets going missing under concerning circumstances. By early 2012, his public content remained focused on reviews, but privately he was dealing with severe personal conflicts and disturbing plans. The contrast between his online presence and offline struggle grew, highlighting missed opportunities for support. On the surface, daily life continued as usual at the family home on Far Street in Waller, Texas. But on March 20th, 2012, everything would change. According to his confessions, the events unfolded in the early afternoon, beginning with his mother Rhonda, followed by his brother Mark, and then his father Lawton. Afterward, he caused extensive damage to the home, including overturning furniture, breaking household items, and leaving the scene in disarray. Investigators noted messages written on the walls expressing regret, including, "I love my mom, dad, and brother. Why did I do this?" And "God forgive me because I cannot forgive myself." Trey fled the scene. Police arrived for a welfare check later that day, and what they discovered was devastating. The quiet Texas neighborhood was shattered, with the horror spilling into the community. Evidence mounted swiftly. The trashed home, messages, and casings painted a picture of rage. Then, on the 21st of March, Trey was arrested at his friend's house, where he confessed to everything that he had done. He later told the authorities he carried out the act against his family first, believing it would spare them the shame related to his planned large actions, which reportedly included targeting a school. Trey was later charged with 3 capital murders and pleaded guilty on the 2nd of August of 2012, which was also his 23rd birthday, and was sentenced to life without parole. Imagine clocking into your overnight shift at a quiet grocery store, only to hear the doors barricade shut and a man obsessed with the afterlife turns a Pennsylvania market into a nightmare. In Eaton Township, a sleepy area in the northeastern Pennsylvania, home to rolling hills, quiet communities, and a Wee's supermarket in Tanhana. In 1992, in Dallas, Pennsylvania, Randy Robert Stair was born. Starting in 2008, he launched his YouTube channel, Pioneer Production, posting goofy comedy sketches, stunts, and random team pranks, light-hearted vlogs, the stuff that screams harmless fun. He expanded to channels like Mr. Anime for anime reviews and gaming, even a side gig called Worthless Toaster for uploading music. Randy was immersed in nerd culture, connecting with fans through his personas, and life looked normal, a young adult chasing creative passions in the digital world. At the age of 24 in 2017, Randy seemed like an average guy on the surface. A night shifter that worked at V's, had been stocking and cleaning, but beneath it all, something darker was brewing. The first cracks appeared as Randy's content shifted. Around his late teens, he was fixated on the show called Danny Phantom on Nickelodeon, a 2004 cartoon about a teen fighting ghosts. Specifically, the punk rock ghost girl Ember McLean captivated him. What started as fan enthusiasm turned into an obsession, and Randy began creating his own web series, Ember's Ghost Squad, reimagining violent figures as ghosts in an afterlife squad. He adopted the alias Andrew Blaze, posting on Twitter as EGS and sharing animations where violent figures crossed over to a ghostly realm. Randy's reactions leaned in hard. In vlogs, he started mixing personal rants with his creations, expressing frustration with the world, isolation, and vague hints of dark thoughts. Fans noticed the tone of change, but many dismissed it as edgy art. Randy articulated his feelings eloquently, but the delusion was seeping through the cracks. He believed dying violently could transport him to the animated afterlife, joining Ember as an eternal soulmate. It was the initial anomaly, a hobby morphing into something unhinged. Things got worse real fast. Randy exploded online. He ranted about hating humanity, feeling trapped in his body and life. In his videos, he referenced past shooters as part of his story. He referenced historical tragedies and conflicts. He referenced horrible acts from history, weaving them into his ghost lore. His Twitter and YouTube filled with morbid posts blending with Danny Phantom obsessions. His mental health signs screamed for help. Randy documented his decline in a notebook, rambling journals full of delusions about transcending to a parallel dimension free from suffering. He recorded tapes and audio confessions of his plans and animated videos showing ghostly transformations. Signs of severe depression and possible psychosis surfaced. Yet, no one intervened. His family, co-workers, and online audience overlooked all of these red flags. And as for practice runs, Randy posted videos of himself at the range with shotguns, naming them Mackenzie and Rachel, like characters from his squad. He detailed barricading techniques and timing attacks, and his content wasn't just fantasy anymore. It was basically a rehearsal for the act that he was about to commit. On June 7th, before his shift, he finalized uploads, a 42-minute animated goodbye titled The Westboro High Incident / Goodbye, blending Ember's ghost squad with real footage of him loading ammo, and he was ready. The store awaited, co-workers unsuspecting. The clock ticked towards the midnight horror, and on June 8, 2017, just after the midnight at Weeks Markets in Eaton Township, Randy arrived for his shift with a duffel bag in his hand around 12:50 in the morning. He barricaded the exits with pallets and carts, sealing everyone inside. Pulling out his pistol-grip pump-action shotgun, he fired nearly 60 rounds during the attack. The main event unfolded chaotically. Shots rang out, targeting co-workers. 3 innocent overnight staff were unalived in the aisles. No customers were there since the store was closed, but panic ensued. One survivor escaped through the back door, dialing 911 from safety. Randy, amid the chaos, turned the gun on himself and ended his life there. Police arrived to a lockdown scene with victims and evidence scattered. The surviving employees' calls saved potential others, but the damage was done. Randy's digital uploads hit the web mid-event. Videos, tapes, manifestos explaining his motive, escape into his delusional afterlife with Ember and the Ghost Squad. This was meticulously planned, finally fulfilling his twisted fantasy. If you made it to the end of this video, thank you for watching. If you are new here, consider subscribing, and if you have any thoughts on the case, theories or any details I missed, please feel free to drop them in the comments. Until next time.